going on, Jerome? So even though Minnesota Fighting Vikings allegedly lost at home against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a lot of self-inflicted wounds, we Vikings fans finally got to see the full Brian Flores defense in all of its glory, and it is real and it is spectacular. And the whole thing about Flores coordinating this defense to a very aggressive level, and Kevin O'Connell getting this offense to where it needs to be. Yeah, I mean, Super Bowl, duh. But also, I don't know, after 1 week, Kevin O'Connell not getting this team up, the offense shooting itself in the foot, some of the decisions late in the game, deciding to punt instead of going for it. I don't know. I don't know, man. But either way, there's a lot to be excited about this defense this season. So here are 10 DAs, things that we learned about the Brian Flores defense week 1. Number 1, blitzes and pressures. So yes, only 1 sack. On its surface, it's whatever. And Danielle Hunter did get there, but Baker was uncomfortable throughout most of the day. And also the disguises were fantastic, where the broadcast team and all of their jabroniness, they pointed this out quite a bit, where the Vikings were constantly crowding line of scrimmage, constantly causing confusion. You didn't know if it was going to be man. You didn't know if it was going to be a zero blitz. You didn't know if they were going to drop it in the zone. And they flowed through perfectly. And I think the Vikings defense was really impressive week 1. Again, it's something that we haven't really seen in preseason. Flores kept it close to the vest, and the starters, of course, didn't play. But the defense overall throughout most of the day, especially that first half, looked really, really damn good. And we're able to get heat on Mayfield, as well as just get chaos in the backfield in the running game quite often. And it's something you can hang your hat on. Number 2, third down for what? So, that was the whole thing about the Zimmer defense back in the day is, all right, so cover 2, Tampa 2, hold them first and second down, get exotic and erotic on third down. But by that, I mean just double A gap look. But third down, that's when the Vikings brought most of the heat. The Buccaneers started out 1 for 5 on third, including 3 for 13. We'll talk about how it ended up late in the game and some reasons for that. Of course, conditioning is always tough for week 1. That's why you saw quite a rotation on defense. I don't know if that's going to be a hallmark of the defense going forward, or if that's just a week 1 requirement. We shall see. But I mean, most of the defensive players dressed on the 48 did get in on defense in some capacity. But yeah, on third down, they certainly brought heat, and they got after it, and something that you can be excited about. Number 3. Overall, it was a solid outing. Now, I understand that people just want to be pissed off because the Vikings gave the game away, and it's a loss, but I mean, the defense played really good. Where it's the inverse of the wild card game, where the offense of Kirk Cousins played fantastic, but the defense let him down. This time, the defense played pretty damn good, and the offense let him down. But 242 yards allowed, that should be enough to win you a football game in this damn league. 3.6 yards per play, which is extremely low. Baker had a very dental floss thin 4.8 yards per attempt. So overall, I mean, the defense did a damn good job on this Buccaneers offense. And number 4, run defense is much improved. So in 2022, the Vikings were 20th in the league in rushing yards allowed. They're 22nd in yards per carry at 4.5. The Bucks at 2.2 yards per carry. The whole Rashad White, Sean Tucker thing, and the Buccaneers and Canales and Todd Bowles, they definitely want to run the football. They made a very concerted effort, and the Bucs offensive line, I mean, parts of it are really damn good, but the Bucs only had 2.2 yards per carry and only 73 yards. So the Vikings run defense is much improved. Harrison Phillips was a major part of that. He was out there making plays all over the place. Same thing with Pace Jr., same thing with Jordan Hicks, same thing with Harrison Smith around the line of scrimmage, doing some good things up front. Number 5, Harrison is back to being Harrison. So that's something that I was super hyped about. Now, he didn't make a ton of plays that is going to fill the stat sheet, but him just being at the line of scrimmage, offenses not knowing if he's going to be blitzing or setting the edge or dropping back into coverage and doing a lot of things, that's when he is the most dangerous. And you got to give credit to Mike Zimmer. He did tap in. He unleashed the best of Harrison Smith. Now, with Donachelle last year, Harrison played a lot more coverage. He's a lot further off the line of scrimmage. He didn't blitz a ton, but I think that Harrison will be back. And once we get the official numbers, I bet you Harrison will blitz 6-7 times in that game. Well, maybe not that many. Maybe like 4 or 5. We'll see. But, I love that 22 is back to being 22, and I think that he'll have a career year this year. Number 6, Ivan Pace Jr. is starter. So the whole depth chart thing is like, oh, Ivan Pace Jr. is linebacker 4, blah, blah, blah. Now, baloney. So Asamoah was sort of not really seen. That shoulder injury may be a little bit more of a hindrance. Hicks was out there. Dye got in a couple snaps, but Pace Jr. played around 2/3 of the snaps. He was in there in the second half when it was crunch time. He was second on the team in solo tackles, and I think that he is going to be a mainstay of this defense. And also, he got in a couple pressures as well, especially when Baker was out on the bootlegs. Pace has got that speed. He's got that ability to just get after the quarterback, and his run fits are fantastic too. So I think that Pace Jr., like, we need to stop this charade that Pace Jr. isn't a starter, because he is. Next up, number 7. Caleb Evans on island. So the thing about Flores' defense is that, yes, sometimes you will give up big-time plays when you get beat one-on-one, but you're going to take those gambles, and you're betting that their 5 guys can't block your 6 guys. You're betting that their 6 guys can't block your 7 guys, and you need press corners on the outside who ain't scared to operate without a safety net. And Caleb Evans is certainly that guy. And he's 6'2", a buck 90, 200. Like, he does have really good size. The pride of Mizzou last year was hindered by injuries, but when he was on the field, he played really good. And there's a reason why Evans won the starting job opposite of Byron Murphy Jr. And on the outside, it was him and Mike Evans throughout most of the day, and it was really, really good, man. Caleb Evans did get the best of Mike Evans. Remember, Evans' touchdown was when they were able to get Metellus singled up when Metellus was playing safety. So Evans had a couple passes broken up, made some good plays, made some nice run support tackles without injuring himself. So I think that the Vikings, again, knocking on all the wood, if Caleb Evans stays healthy, I think the Vikings may have themselves a really damn good outside the numbers cornerback. Number 7. Generating free rushes. So you'll notice this, that yes, Flores is bringing heat quite a bit, but also stylistically and systematically, they were able to get numbers on a specific side. So 3 against 2, 4 against 3, 2 against 1, etc. And someone was coming free. So you saw that with Benton Whitley, got himself a free rush at Baker. Didn't quite come up with it, but basically what he did all preseason. Troy Dye was in a couple. Daniil was in a couple. Harrison was in a couple. And eventually... So, sacks can be a misleading stat, right? What I'm more cared about is pressure. So look forward to when those numbers come out on PFF today, where as long as you're giving yourself a chance, it's like buying lotto tickets or raffle tickets. The more you have, the better chance you have of winning, and the more pressures you get, the better chances you have of a sack. So that's what's really important here. Number 9, put on a short field. So the defense. The offense did not do the defense any favors, especially in the second half. But in the first half, that fumble at the Minnesota 18 resulted in a field goal. Also, that special teams penalty, carry on my Jayward son, was offsides, turned that field goal into a touchdown. So that's 13. So basically, even though it says 20 on the scoreboard and it goes 20 in the box score, this defense really only gave up 13 points. And that should be enough to win on any damn day. But it wasn't. And also, getting extra possessions over to the Buccaneers since the Vikings were -3 in turnovers, and that just really does suck. And lastly, the defense wore down late. Now, a lot of factors there. It was roughly split in terms of time of possession, but in the second half, the Buccaneers came out with a 9-minute drive, and it was just like dragging ass the entire time. And of course, week 1, they mentioned this on the broadcast, week 1, everyone across the league is not in football shape as it were. So especially, these long games, especially when you're getting after it, it could be a little bit tough late. But the Bucs had 2 10-play drives to end the game. One was for that freaking 57-yard field goal. I'm sick and tired of kickers hitting career longs against the Vikings late in games. I really am. And also the last 10-play drive was to run out the clock. And like you could tell, like the defense was getting worn down. They started off 3 of 13 against the Bucs on third down. They ended up 3 of 4 on third and 1 of 1 fourth on the final 2 drives. So as good as they were early, they didn't get it done late. Sort of is what it is. But also, I understand. You're on the field, you got to make a play. But the offense had 2 consecutive 3-and-outs to finish the game, and they didn't do the defense any favors. But overall, you got to be pretty hyped. You do have to be pretty hyped about what this defense is going to be. The offense will get their ish together, and they'll put up points, and the Vikings will be playing with the lead, and this defense will be able to just rip the cover off the ball, leading with Daniil Hunter and Harrison Smith. So I'm still pretty hyped about what Flores is going to do this season. But your thoughts are thoughts. 10. things we learned about the Brian Flores defense week 1 in the loss. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.